Hi everyone. This is Lucky coming at you with Door Kickers 2 Task Force North. If you haven't heard of this game, it's a game in the series of the same name, Door Kickers. It was released by Killhouse Games in 2020. Door Kickers 2 has a sort of military theme. Door Kickers, the first one, had a sort of SWAT police theme. The second one is a 2D shooter, not related really to the Door Kickers mainline series. It's a top-down strategy and tactics game about using intelligence and special operations units in raids and raiding different compounds to destroy and capture high-valued targets in a fictional country in the Middle East. So, with all that being said, it's an awesome game. It can be quite brutal, which is part of the reason why I'm making this video, just to get everybody up to speed with the way that the game sort of displays itself. I know the first sort of group of missions can be... It's sort of like Door Kicker's way of introducing the different sort of aspects of this game, and it can be sort of jarring and frustrating to kind of get you guys through that. So, with that being said, let's get started. So the first thing that I'm going to do for you guys is I'm just going to go up to squads here, and I'm just going to show you how they interact with the game on the whole scale. So here are your three squads that the game starts you off with. I'm not going to worry about the Amber 2-4 or the Team Calypso squad for right now. All I'm going to worry about is the Rangers. So you can see over here Assault, Support, Marksman, and Grenadier. I'm not sure how you pronounce that, but I'm just going to go with Grenadier because I think it sounds cool. So, in the Assault class, you have these 8 guys, right? And if you click on these, it brings up their character card, right? It's going to look a little bit different. This marksmanship, this assault shooting, and this field skills is going to be lower because obviously you guys haven't leveled the character up, right? So you go over here, right, and you get his primary weapon, his primary attachment, right, the scope. And you can also, on some weapons, put a suppressor. And then down here is his secondary. You have a lot of options. Some of these you can put various attachments like these two. Let me just go up here and put the suppressor on there. Down here you have his helmet. Down here you have his sappy plates or armor plating. There's level 3, level 4. There's side plates, right? Whoops. There's side plating, and there's front and back side. Same with level 4. And there's soft armor, and there's raid vests. You just need the regular old Ranger vest right now. And down here, you have his primary. You have a lot of options. Smoke grenades, frag grenades, flashbangs, stingers, which are like non-lethal frag grenades. They're pretty cool. It's like a distraction. It gets civilians out of the way. A slap charge, which is a sort of more explosive way to enter into a building. And a thermal torch. Thermal torch you don't really need to worry about right now either. You have his secondary right here. Same sort of deal. And you have his sort of utility. You have a breacher shotgun, you have smoke frag flashbang, a wall breacher charge, which is a really, really big way to enter into a building, as you can see by the tutorial video. That's useful on certain types of missions, which we will get into. And you have a dynamic hammer. A dynamic hammer is really, really good. I recommend unlocking this as soon as you get into the game, as soon as you start messing around and start playing the game. Spy camera, this is really good if you want to go in quiet, like I like to. I like to go in quiet, but I kind of suck at it, so it usually goes loud. And then you have this big mama jamma, the rocket launcher. This is when you're like, alright, screw it, this is a huge compound. I have a lot of guys here. I'm going to bring some heat to the battle. Down here, this is your more mobility, right? The more things that you equip, the heavier your character is going to be, obviously. So if I equip a rocket launcher, obviously you can see my mobility goes down. You don't have to worry about concealment just yet. That's used in the CIA, and that's kind of later on in the game. Right now we're just getting the basics down. So that's your assaulter, right? Pretty standard class setup. You know, you got your assault rifles. Some of them, or a lot of them, can equip subsonic. That's when you're trying to go really quiet. Usually, I mean, I could unlock these, but again, I suck at it. Usually, I just slap a suppressor onto a carbine and then call it good. And then you have some higher caliber options down here as well. So that's your assault class. Whoops. That's your assault class. Pretty standard in terms of get-up. Let's move on down to the support. Alright, support. These guys are your, if you want a certain area on the map to be absolutely locked down by someone on your squad, these are the guys you want. These guys have a huge light machine gun, right? You can see you can either have it in 5.56, which is like standard caliber, or you can go up to 7.62, which is pretty big. They've even got like an experimental 338 LMG, which is super cool. These guys, as you can see down here, their mobility is way low, right? Because they're pretty much carrying around a 15-pound LMG, as well as everything else that you equip to them, right? So it makes sense that their mobility is super low. Usually, if I'm going to use a support, I like to start my squad off with a assault or two, and then I like to bring in the support, kind of as a backup man, right? I'm putting the support pretty back far into my team, just to let the assaulters kind of take the brunt of the CQB, and then I like to bring up my support as a backup and start pieing off those corners with my support. Once again, they have LMGs, as you can see. Also, every single class has access to a shotgun. Doesn't matter which class you start or which class you are. Every single, it doesn't matter which class you choose to go into battle with. They all have access to a shotgun. Same with the assault. They have access to a bunch of sidearms. Some of them you can put sights and suppressors on and stuff like that. Again, helmet, right? You have your low-cut helmet, which is just like pistols and machine gun or submachine guns. Then you have your high cut helmet, which is just a tiny little bit more of protection. It just depends on which kind of look you're going for. You have your high cut with mandible. This provides a little bit more protection in terms of critical chance, because bullets can score critical hits and it can be really unforgiving. So you want to make sure that your guy's head is secure. And then you have your rifle grades, right? This is when you're starting to go into a little bit later on into the game. I don't even have these unlocked, but I don't really think that these are necessary because of the way that I like to design my characters. So those are the helmets. Also, another thing: every single character has access to NVGs, right? Single tube NVGs are there as a free option. Dual tube NVGs are there if you want a little bit wider field of view, and if you want to go in super sneaky. And you just need to click on them to equip them. Again, they have the same sort of sappy plates, right? Level 3 will stop pistols and submachine guns. Maybe stop a rifle bullet. Level 4 will stop rifle calibers. Again, with the armor plating, soft armor, you're going to get maybe 1 or 2 shots out of, and then you're going to go down. Raid vests are a little bit quicker, right? They make your mobility a little bit quicker. However, they don't have any side plating like these two. Same thing with this as primary, right? He's got slap charges. Whoops. Same thing with secondary, and same thing with his utility, right? They're all going to have pretty similar primary, secondary, and utility items. But I just wanted to show you guys the class setups that I run. If you guys want to copy them, these are pretty good, pretty all-around good class setups to run. I've had a lot of success with them. So, anyways, that's pretty much it for support. They're really good at locking an area down. If you're going to bring a support, don't bring it as your front man. Bring it as your back man, because they don't really have that mobility to take corners and to button hook in corners and to do CQB stuff. So make sure to have an assaulter or two up in front. So let's move on to marksman. On to marksmen's. Same thing with support and assault and grenadier. They have helmets, sappy plates. Same thing with the primary, secondary, and utility items. They're all going to be sort of the similar setup. So you will see some variability in my flashbangs, frag grenades, smoke grenades, some variability in that. Usually I have a guy with wall breach charges and a guy with dynamic hammers and a guy with spy cameras, at least one in every single class setup, just to kind of bring what I need to the battle. So similar sort of thing. They have, obviously, they're a marksman. They have sniper rifles, right? There's quite a few of them. You're going to start out with the Squad DM rifle, designated marksman. It's a semi-automatic rifle. It's perfectly viable to bring into sort of the early to mid game, but as I like to do, I like to sort of get my guys set up in terms of weaponry as quick as possible. So I went with the M110A1 DMR rifle here, and every single other class that tries to be sneaky for me, I try and have a suppressor on there as well. Again, you'll start out with the combat optic. I like to go up to the LPVO 1 to 8 times. So again, same with sidearms, right? And same thing with all three of these. So I'm trying to get through this as quickly as I can, just because I know that you guys want to see some actual gameplay. So excuse me if I just kind of gloss over some things. Let's go on to Grenadier. And the final class, Grenadier. These are the only ones that I don't have a secondary for, just because I don't really think they need it. Like the name suggests, they obviously have a grenade launcher, which you can load explosive, just 40mm grenades in, and you can launch them over walls, and they can use it on the move. It's a really good tool if you're trying to suppress or to destroy a piece of cover, or sort of keep the enemy's head down in a certain area while maybe your assaulters move across a sort of breach or a fatal funnel or something like that. It's really good. So like I said, they start out with the M16, perfectly viable. But I like to run the M4 just because I think it looks sort of more slick with the collapsible buttstock. So, like I said, there's not really anything to Grenadiers. You start out with 5 rounds that you can shoot through your noob tube. Talking like I'm in Modern Warfare 2 days. There's 5 rounds that you can shoot through your grenade launcher. As far as I know, you can't switch, at least not in the base game, you can't switch out to different grenade types to shoot through your grenade launcher. That would be cool. Like if you could shoot like one smoke grenade and then switch over to a HE grenade and then blow up that, wall or something. But like I said, like the name suggests, they just got a big old noob tube on the underside of it. Their mobility is kind of like marksman's. They're kind of in between marksman's and assault. So if you're going to use all 4 classes and you're stacking up on a doorway and it's only 4 troops that you can deploy, I would do assault, grenadier. You see, this is kind of difficult, whether or not you'd bring support or marksman, but I would do support as the third and marksman as the last. But now, enough of me talking, and let's get on to some actual gameplay, and I'll show you how to set up games, and we'll run through a quick scenario. All right? All right. Alright, so this is the first mission, literally the first mission in the game, so I am spoiling absolutely nothing. Okay, so we have 2 assaulters right here, and this is where we're going to start, right? It gives you a sort of overview of the map, and then you start and you plan your attack, right? So, basic overview. I see a breach right here, a breach right here, a breach right here, and a breach right here. Okay, so there's probably going to be a lot of dynamic entry, and there's probably going to be a lot of action in those breaches, right? I see a weapon right here and a weapon right here. So any overt weapons like that are indicators that there are enemies around them, either in the same room or like if a weapon's right here, there's an enemy right here, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press go, and you will see some things, right? Right now we are in planning mode, right? There's a clock, but don't worry about that clock. That clock is specifically tied to either execution game or execution missions, or if you're trying to complete missions, like complete this level in under 15 seconds, right? That's what that clock is for. There's a resume gameplay, right? When I press that, Gameplay will be flowing as normal. Enemies will be walking around. Time will resume. And there's also a reset current planning. So if you go over here, and if you left click and drag, that's the area, that's the path that your guy will follow. Right? And if you right click on your guy, you can delete the path from this point forward, right? So like any good player, I'm going to pie this corner. I'm just going to get my guys stacked up. And let's hit resume gameplay and see what happens. So as you can see, my guys stacked up. I'm going to have Phantom just kind of start pieing that corner, right? And he's going to come around that corner and he's going to stop right there. And Poltergeist is going to come up high and do the same thing right there. He's going to be pointing right next to Poltergeist as he comes up. He's going to point his gun right at that breach. All right, let's see if it goes. Alright, so we see a guy. We see a grunt insurgent or a bad guy. Luckily, I have a suppressor on my weapon, so I have not been compromised just yet. Okay, so now we have run into an issue. Okay, since I killed that guy right in front of that breach, any enemies or his friends can see that. So let's see if anybody saw that. Nope, we're still good. Okay, so now Poltergeist is going to come in right next to Phantom, keeping his gun pointed at that breach at all times. Alright, Phantom is going to throw a flashbang into the room, and I do that by just right-clicking and going down to throw flashbang and left-clicking on that. And then making my flashbang go into the room just about where I want it. Anywhere inside the yellow circle will be stunned. Anywhere inside the blue circle, they have a chance of being stunned. So I'm going to place it just right there, right in the middle of the room. And with Poltergeist, I'm actually going to right-click on him and go up to wait for Go Code Alpha. And pretty much what this will do is he will not do anything after this move, anything after Go Code Alpha, until I hit this button right down here, or I press the A key on my keyboard. So what's going to happen is I'm going to hit the A key after Phantom has thrown the flashbang, and I'm going to begin pieing that corner, and I'm going to go right here. I'm going to keep my gun right there as well. Flashbang goes off, hit the A, Poltergeist begins his movement, pieing that corner, and look at what we got. We got somebody. So let's kill him. Alright, now that I'm confident that there's nobody else left in this room, I'm going to button hook. A button hook just means you're facing one way and you're immediately, when you go into a breach, you're going the opposite way. So, a couple things about entering breaches. You always want to be facing forwards when you enter a breach, right? Alright, so, and the reason why I want to do that is to let my guy get a snapshot of this part of the room, because he might not know what's back there. And then, right after that, I'm going to immediately get my guy to snap this way, just to make sure that there's no enemies there. And then I'm going to make him pie this direction. And then he's going to come up and stop right behind this chair. Poltergeist is going to go in He's going to go across this chair, across those pallets, and he's going to park himself right there. Once again, Poltergeist, since he's entering a breach, I want him facing forward. And then I want him to face this direction. And then right after that, I want him to begin pieing that way. Alright, let's hit go. As you can see, we're pulling security long towards this breach because that breach is where the unknown lies. So, since Phantom threw the flashbang into here, I'm going to get Poltergeist to throw his flashbang in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have him pie this direction, and I'm going to have him go right up next to that breach. And you know what? Since we know that there's no civilians in this building, since it's the first mission and they're just trying to get you used to the game, we can actually throw a frag grenade into this. So I'm going to make Poltergeist go up, throw a frag grenade, and obviously we don't want to get Phantom to come any closer because of the frag grenades, chance that it could be lethal. So let's hit go, see what happens. Throws that frag grenade. Frag grenade explodes. We're going to get Phantom to come around this chair and begin pieing that corner and making sure that it's safe. Alright, so Phantom looked down that corridor, made sure it was safe, and because these are windows and they don't have any drapes behind him, he was able to see outside, and there could have been a guy waiting there for him. So that was nice. I'm going to make Poltergeist go in, stop behind this sink. Once again, make sure this guy is always facing forward. And you know what? We're just going to begin pieing that corner directly because that's the direction he's heading in. We're going to bring Phantom all the way up. And we're going to begin pieing in this direction as well. And right about here is when we're going to start to look down here. Alright, let's hit go. Alright, we got good cross security on that. We know that there isn't a guy right here, at least not for the moment, but since the mission is still going on and it's a clear hostiles mission, I know that there's somebody back in here, right? We saw that weapon get picked up or exploded. I can't really remember. Maybe it got picked up. I'll have to go back into editing and see. But we saw that weapon be moved somewhere. So I know that there's a guy back in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw a flashbang way back in here. Bam, right there. And with Poltergeist, I'm going to get him to move up and throw a frag grenade right back in here. Let's hit go. Flash went boom. I'm going to get Phantom to just start to pie this direction, and he's going to move across this sofa. He's going to park himself right in front of that workbench. Meanwhile, Poltergeist is going to button hook around. Meanwhile, like always, make sure you're facing forward in the breach, and he's going to begin pieing in this direction as well. Alright, let's hit go. Alright, so it turns out that that frag grenade was perfect placement. See this little chalk outline? That was a guy, and luckily we had Poltergeist pieing this direction as well as Phantom, and they were able to kick out that guy. So let's bring down Phantom right across this car. Make sure he's pieing towards that bathroom. That bathroom is the only place we haven't checked. We're going to bring Poltergeist a little closer, and we're going to make him throw. Well, yeah, why not? We'll make him toss a flash right in the doorway. We're going to actually make him wait for Go Code Alpha and wait until Poltergeist or Phantom gets into position. Let's do that. All right, Phantom is in position. I'm going to hit A. Let's chase that flash in. poor Poltergeist. He just got annihilated. Just got his eyes annihilated. But guy should be still flash, so we're gonna come across and start pieing that corner. Boom. And that's how you do it, ladies and gentlemen. I hope that this was a great starting point to get your feet wet into this game. It's a great game, and I just really hope that you like this. And we'll take a look at the replay just so you guys can get a cinematic view and a let's see, and just so you guys can get a cinematic view and see the whole thing kind of orchestrated together. It's pretty cool. So you begin pieing that corner, take out these two guys. He begins to close in, throws a flash. And Poltergeist goes in, takes care of that guy. They begin a dynamic entry. And Poltergeist goes up, tosses a frag. Phantom begins to chase that frag and begin pieing that corner. He sees that nobody's there. And Phantom throws a flash, and Poltergeist throws a frag. Takes care of that guy, takes care of that guy. Phantom moves into position. And Poltergeist throws a flash. And Phantom takes the final shot. Like I said, I really like this game. It does make you feel really cool when you begin to see how things can be improved on in CQB combat. So I'm going to hit back to menu. This is, or actually before I hit back to menu, this is your end status screen. It just says mission completed, how many stars you got. These are your challenges. I wouldn't recommend looking too far into these, at least right now, and until you get into the game and you start realizing its mechanics. Units lost, we lost 0 people. We killed 7, or we pacified with huge air quotes. 7 different people, and we got a nice chunk of credits there, or we got a nice chunk of XP there. I'm gonna hit back to menu. I don't know what that is. Whenever you save a replay, it will show up here in your replays folder, just to kind of act as a memento of the cool moments that you get in this game. So, anyways, that was Door Kickers 2, sort of an introduction into Door Kickers 2 at least. I hope you guys like this sort of video, this sort of learning style of video. Once again, if you don't have Door Kickers 2, I would really recommend getting it if you're into sort of tactical games. It's a really fun game, and there is a whole bunch of missions. I'm not even like 20% through, so don't take my word as gospel. I have literally like 16 like 19 missions done. So once again, don't take my word as gospel. And there's even an online co-op mode, right? And there's a mission editor, right? And you can, even after you get all these missions done, guess what? There's a mission generator, and you can go up to 2 to 4, 4 to 7, and 8. So, but if you guys would like to see a full or a semi-full run through of the campaign, maybe just through FNG's Welcome, or just maybe through the entire thing, depending on what you guys think, make sure to like this video if you liked it, dislike if you didn't, leave a comment telling me what I can improve and what you liked about the video, and sub if you're new. Once again, this is Lucky, signing out. See you guys.